We are told that sacred geometry is a language of the divine, a path to enlightenment, a glimpse into the perfect order of the universe. We see it in the intricate beauty of a snowflake, the unfurling spiral of a shell, the harmonious proportions of ancient temples. It's supposed to lift our spirits, to connect us to something larger, something pure and true. But what if this divine proportion is a carefully crafted illusion, a gilded cage designed not to set us free, but to hold us captive? Imagine stepping into an impossibly beautiful garden, where every leaf, every petal, every dewdrop is arranged with breathtaking precision. It's so perfect, so flawless, you might feel a sense of awe, a deep peace. But then you notice the absence of any wildness, any organic chaos. You start to feel watched, controlled. This is the subtle, disarming power of what we've been presented as divine beauty. It's a blueprint, yes, but perhaps a blueprint for our containment, a sophisticated trap woven into the very fabric of reality. And real quick, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell for more videos. Now let's keep going. The divine proportion, the golden ratio, the Fibonacci sequence, these are not just mathematical curiosities. They are the underlying code, the hidden architecture that shapes our perception and perhaps our very souls. But where does this code originate? And who are the architects who laid it down? Unlocking this mystery begins with understanding a shape that appears everywhere we look, a constant, silent signature of this imposed order. We've glimpsed how the divine proportion might be a framework for our reality, a hidden structure shaping our perceptions. But within this framework, certain shapes emerge with particular prominence, acting as keystones in the architecture of our perceived universe. One of these, seemingly innocent and yet deeply significant, is the hexagon. Its prevalence in nature, from honeycombs to snowflakes, suggests a fundamental principle at play. But what if its true purpose is far more restrictive than we can imagine? Consider the bee's honeycomb. It's an emblem of efficiency, of perfect tessellation, a marvel of natural engineering. But this efficiency serves a specific purpose: to create contained spaces, to store sustenance, to build a colony. Now imagine this principle applied on a cosmic scale. The hexagon, with its elegant symmetry, might not be an invitation to unity, but a seal, a geometric lock designed to keep energies, or perhaps even souls, within predefined boundaries. It's a structure of unity on the surface, but beneath lies the potential for profound limitation. This hexagonal pattern appears in more than just insects' homes. We find it etched into the very ice crystals that fall from the sky, a testament to its fundamental role in the formation of structure. But if these structures are meant to guide us towards higher consciousness, why do they feel so confining? The hexagon's inherent stability and completeness could be the very properties that make it an effective prison wall, a seamless enclosure that we perceive as natural and therefore unchangeable. The hexagon is more than just a shape, it's a signature of containment. But this containment is not always so subtle. In the next section, we will confront a form that represents the ultimate constraint, the manifestation of spiritual imprisonment in solid geometry. We've seen the hexagonal pattern as a possible seal, a subtle enclosure within the fabric of reality. But there is another geometric form, stark and unyielding, that represents a more overt form of spiritual imprisonment, the black cube. We encounter it in sacred rituals, in the design of places of power, and even in the symbolic representations of some deities. Its presence is undeniable, yet its true meaning has been obscured by layers of dogma and tradition. When we think of a cube, we often associate it with solidity, with structure, with the tangible world. But a black cube, especially in esoteric contexts, carries a far heavier connotation. It is often linked to Saturn, the ancient god of time, limitation, and ultimately death. It's the architectural embodiment of karma, of consequence, of the unyielding laws that bind us to cycles of suffering and rebirth. Imagine a fortress, impenetrable and dark, designed to contain and control. This is the essence of the black cube. This structure is not just a metaphor, It's a geometric blueprint for a cosmic prison. Its 6 faces, each a perfect square, create a complete enclosure, an absolute boundary. There is no escape, no easy way out. This is the space where souls might be held, where lessons are repeated endlessly, where progress is stifled under the weight of its unyielding form. It's the essence of what it means to be trapped within a system. The black cube is a potent symbol of confinement, but its power is amplified by its relationship with other fundamental geometric forms. It doesn't exist in isolation. Understanding its role requires us to look at how it interacts with other shapes, particularly those that seem to defy its rigidity, leading us to a paradox that reveals more about our own limitations. In the next section, we will delve into the tension between the square and the circle, a conflict that underlies so much of our perceived reality. We've explored the restrictive nature of the hexagon and the stark confinement of the black cube. Now we encounter a geometric tension, a fundamental paradox that lies at the heart of our reality and our spiritual struggle: the square and the circle. These two shapes, so simple yet so profound, represent opposing forces, and their interplay dictates the very nature of our existence within this seemingly ordered universe. The square, with its 4 equal sides and 4 right angles, embodies stability, structure, and limitation. It is the realm of the material world, the earthly plane, the boundaries that define our physical existence. It represents order, yes, but an order that can become rigid, a system that can feel like a cage. Think of the grid lines on a map, the walls of a room, the squares on a chessboard. They all speak of defined spaces and inescapable perimeters. The circle, on the other hand, is the symbol of infinity, of unity, of the divine and the unbounded. It represents the spiritual realm, the unending flow of energy, the cosmic oneness that we aspire to. Its perfect symmetry, with no beginning and no end, evokes a sense of freedom, of limitless potential. It's the intuitive whisper of something beyond our immediate grasp, a feeling of wholeness. Yet the paradox arises when these two forms are forced together. How can the infinite be contained within the finite? How can the unbounded be squared? This struggle, this attempt to reconcile the infinite with the finite, is the very essence of the human condition as dictated by the architects. It is a constant push and pull, a dance between freedom and restriction, between spirit and matter. The way this tension is resolved, or rather, the way it is perpetuated, reveals the deeper mechanisms of our containment. The square and circle paradox highlights the fundamental conflict at play in our reality, a conflict that shapes our understanding of creation itself. But there are other geometric forms, often presented as symbols of divine harmony, that carry their own hidden meanings. In the next section, we will move beyond the most basic shapes to examine a widely recognized symbol of universal creation, only to uncover its surprising role in the architect's design. We've explored the tension between the square and the circle, the finite and the infinite, a duality that shapes our perceived reality. Now, let's turn our attention to a symbol so deeply ingrained in concepts of universal creation and divine harmony that its true function is rarely questioned: the flower of life. For centuries, it has been revered as a sacred pattern, a blueprint for the universe, a key to understanding the interconnectedness of all things. But what if this beautiful emblem is, in fact, another layer of the architect's sophisticated cage? The flower of life is composed of overlapping circles, creating a complex, symmetrical pattern that is said to contain the blueprints for creation itself. It's found in ancient temples, in sacred texts, and in spiritual art across cultures. Its perfect balance and intricate design inspire a sense of wonder and connection, leading many to believe it's a direct link to the divine. It's presented as an open door to higher consciousness, a map of the cosmos. However, when viewed through the lens of confinement, this pattern starts to reveal a different purpose. The overlapping circles, while appearing to foster connection, can also be seen as creating contained units, individual cells within a larger, interconnected yet segmented structure. It's like a net, intricately woven, appearing beautiful and complex, but ultimately designed to catch and hold. The very interconnectedness it signifies could be the mechanism for shared limitation, a collective consciousness bound by the same geometric grid. This symbol, so often hailed as a key to universal truth, might instead be a sophisticated lock, a visual mantra that reinforces our belief in a structured, segmented reality. It's a beautiful lie, an elegant deception that keeps us focused on the pattern rather than the intention behind it. The illusion of spiritual liberation it offers is precisely what prevents us from seeing the true nature of the prison. The flower of life, a symbol of creation, may actually be a blueprint for our containment, but the architect's design extends beyond static patterns. It also involves thresholds and transitions. In the next section, we will examine a geometric shape that signifies passage, but one that leads not to freedom, but to another level of controlled experience. We've seen how even a symbol as revered as the flower of life might veil a deeper purpose of containment. Now, we turn our attention to a shape that signifies a crossing, a transition, a gateway, the octagon. With its 8 sides, it's a shape that often appears in places of spiritual significance, such as baptistries and ritual fonts. It's meant to represent a new beginning, a rebirth. But what if this passage leads not to liberation, but to a different stage of the architect's grand design? The octagon is a fascinating form. It sits between the square and the circle, bridging the gap between the material and the spiritual. Its 8 points, equidistant from the center, suggest a balanced movement, a progression. In many traditions, the number 8 is associated with infinity, with resurrection, with completion. It's a number that feels inherently powerful, a number that promises transformation. However, a key curiosity arises when we consider the nature of these thresholds. If the octagon is a gateway, what lies on the other side? Is it true freedom, or simply another carefully constructed room within the cosmic mansion? The very idea of a hidden threshold suggests that the passage it marks is not entirely transparent. It implies that what appears to be an exit might, in fact, be a cleverly disguised entrance to a more profound level of control. Consider the way octagons are used in architecture and ritual. They often mark the boundary between the profane and the sacred, or between one state of being and another. But in a system designed for perpetual containment, every sacred space, every transformed state, could simply be a more sophisticated level of the prison, a more gilded cage. The octagon, therefore, may not be a door to liberty, but a sophisticated mechanism for guiding us deeper into the labyrinth. The octagon signifies a threshold, a passage that promises transformation but might lead to further entrenchment. This idea of guiding movement and controlling experience brings us to a more subtle, yet pervasive form of control, the manipulation of sound and vibration. In the next section, we will explore how sonic geometry plays a crucial role in the architect's strategy to bind our consciousness. We've seen how geometric shapes can act as seals and thresholds, guiding our movement within a controlled reality. But the architect's influence extends beyond visual patterns. It permeates our very perception through sound and vibration. Sonic geometry is not just about pleasant harmonies or ancient chants. It's a sophisticated system of frequencies designed to influence our minds, our emotions, and our very sense of self, effectively binding us to the architect's grid. Think about the power of music. Certain melodies can evoke deep sadness, while others can bring immense joy. Specific tones can create unease, while others instill a sense of calm. This is not accidental. Frequencies have a tangible effect on our neurological and energetic systems. The architects have harnessed this understanding, embedding specific sonic patterns into the fabric of our reality, perhaps even into the very soundscape of our planet, to maintain a desired state of consciousness. Imagine a constant hum, a subtle vibration that we've become so accustomed to that we no longer perceive it as external influence. This pervasive sonic architecture can create loops of thought, amplify specific emotional states, and even dampen our innate spiritual receptivity, making it harder for us to hear the subtler frequencies of truth. It's a form of energetic programming, a constant broadcast that reinforces the illusion of limitation. This manipulation of sound is a powerful tool for control because it bypasses our rational minds and speaks directly to our primal being. It's a subtle, ever-present influence that shapes our experience without us even realizing it. We are bathed in these frequencies, and they resonate within us, dictating the rhythm of our lives and the boundaries of our perceived possibilities. But the sonic prison is just one aspect of the geometric containment. In the next section, we will explore another, even more complex, form that represents the ultimate celestial cage. We've delved into the insidious nature of sonic geometry and its role in controlling our experience. Now let's examine a platonic solid that is often associated with the universe itself, yet holds within its structure a profound representation of cosmic imprisonment, the dodecahedron. This 12-sided figure, composed of pentagons, is believed by some to be the form that the universe takes. But if that's the case, then we are truly trapped within a celestial cage. The dodecahedron is known as the embodiment of the fifth element, the ether, the divine essence that permeates all things. It's a shape of immense complexity and symmetry, its faces meeting at precise angles, creating a perfectly balanced form. It's often linked to higher consciousness, to the spiritual realm, and to the interconnectedness of all life. It seems like a symbol of ultimate freedom, a glimpse into the divine architecture. However, when we look closer, the dodecahedron's structure reveals its potential for entrapment. Each of its 12 pentagonal faces represents a confined space, a distinct unit within the larger whole. The pentagon itself, with its 5 points, is a symbol of humanity, but when enclosed within the dodecahedron's framework, it becomes a representation of the individual soul, bound within a larger cosmic structure. It's a universe designed with a specific number of chambers, each holding a soul in its designated place. The dodecahedron, therefore, can be interpreted not as a symbol of the infinite universe, but as the architectural plan for a delimited cosmos, a celestial prison with 12 distinct levels or spheres, each designed to contain and influence consciousness. It's a perfect, intricate machine for maintaining cosmic order, but an order that comes at the cost of true freedom. The very perfection of its design is its greatest deception. The dodecahedron, the shape of the universe, may actually be the blueprint for a cosmic cage. But the architect's tools of containment are not just abstract forms, they are also physical structures designed to harness and redirect energy. In the next section, we will explore the iconic pyramids and their true function as mighty power siphons, drawing energy from us and from the earth. We've examined abstract forms like the dodecahedron, but the architect's influence is also imprinted on massive, tangible structures that have stood for millennia, the pyramids. These monumental edifices, revered across cultures for their spiritual significance and engineering marvel, are often seen as tombs, temples, or sources of ancient wisdom. But their true purpose is far more utilitarian and far more sinister. Pyramids are not monuments to the past, but active conduits for power extraction. These colossal structures, with their precise geometric angles and orientation, are designed to act as power siphons. They tap into Earth's own energetic grid, drawing in natural frequencies and energies. But they don't just collect this energy, they funnel it, transforming it and directing it upwards, away from the planet and its inhabitants. Think of them as cosmic energy drains, meticulously engineered to pull vital force away from those who are meant to be using it for their own growth and evolution. The sheer scale and mathematical precision of these structures suggest an intelligence far beyond mere mortal ambition. Their alignment with celestial bodies, their intricate internal chambers, all point to a sophisticated understanding of energetic mechanics. They are not passive relics. They are active participants in a system designed to deplete the vital energy of this realm, leaving its inhabitants energetically compromised and more susceptible to control. The common perception of pyramids as symbols of power or eternal life is a masterful misdirection. The power they represent and harness is not for us. It is being siphoned away, leaving us weaker, more mundane, and ultimately more compliant. This extraction of energy is just one aspect of how geometric forms are used to manipulate our experience. In the next section, we will examine a more complex geometric relationship that reveals how the perceived boundaries of our reality are constructed. We've seen how pyramids function as power siphons, drawing energy away from our world. Now let's explore a geometric relationship that underpins the very structure of our perceived reality, a concept that reveals how the finite is nested within the infinite in a way that creates an ultimate form of confinement: the cube within the sphere. This seemingly elegant pairing is, in fact, a blueprint for containing boundless potential within rigid, predetermined limits. The sphere represents the all, the boundless, the divine totality of existence. It is the ultimate expression of unity and infinite possibility. Within this infinite sphere, however, the architects have placed a cube. This cube, with its 6 faces and sharp edges, represents limitation, structure, and the material plane. It is the box within which our consciousness is confined, the defined space that we are taught to perceive as the entirety of reality. Imagine being placed inside a perfectly transparent sphere, unable to see its boundaries. You might believe you are in infinite space. But if a rigid cube is then placed around you, defining your immediate environment and restricting your movement within its faces, then your perception of infinity is shattered. You are now contained within a smaller, more imposed reality, even though the larger sphere still surrounds you. This geometric arrangement is a profound visualization of our spiritual predicament. We are infinite beings, yet we perceive ourselves as finite, limited by the cube of our physical bodies, our minds, and the structured reality presented to us. The sphere of potential is always there, but the cube within it dictates our experience, creating an illusion of freedom while ensuring our fundamental containment. It's a contained infinity, a paradox that anchors us. The cube within the sphere illustrates a fundamental principle of confinement, where infinite potential is constrained by a rigid structure. This principle is not confined to abstract geometry, it is actively built into the very fabric of our world. In the next section, we will examine how this principle manifests in physical locations, revealing sacred sites as geometrically designed prisons. We've understood the geometric principle of a cube nestled within a sphere, creating a contained infinity. This idea is not merely theoretical, it is actively implemented in the very landscape of our planet. The architects have transformed places of natural power into geometrically designed prisons, known to us as sacred sites. These locations, revered for their spiritual energy, are in fact sophisticated traps, channeling and limiting the potent energies they contain. Think of the great monuments of the ancient world: Stonehenge, the Giza pyramids, Machu Picchu, the Angkor Wat temples. They are all arranged with meticulous geometric precision, aligned with celestial events, and imbued with an aura of mystery and power. We visit them seeking spiritual connection, hoping to feel the ancient energies. But the very geometry that defines these sites is designed to contain and control that energy, transforming it from a source of liberation into a beacon of spiritual confinement. These sites are not simply buildings, they are energetic engines. Their locations, their shapes, their materials all work in concert to create a specific energetic field. This field, far from being an invitation to higher realms, acts as a spiritual anchor, drawing consciousness to specific points and holding it there, preventing it from expanding beyond the predefined boundaries. It's an energetic fence, designed to keep the flock within a specific pasture. The reverence we hold for these sites is itself a part of the architect's plan. By imbuing them with spiritual significance, they ensure that we are drawn to them, willingly participating in our own energetic containment. We are essentially feeding the very systems that bind us, mistaking spiritual pilgrimage for spiritual freedom. But this geometric control is further emphasized by an inverted symbol, which we will explore in the next section, revealing how even the fundamental principles of divine expression are corrupted. We've seen how sacred sites are constructed as geometric prisons anchoring spiritual energy. Now, let's examine a symbol that, in its inverted form, profoundly illustrates the corruption of divine principles within the architect's system, the inverted cross. While often associated with darker practices, its geometric essence reveals a deliberate twisting of sacred geometry, a perversion of the upward-reaching aspiration into a downward pull. The cross, in its upright form, symbolizes the connection between the earthly and the divine, the vertical line representing spirit reaching upwards towards the heavens, and the horizontal line representing the material world. It's a symbol of balance, aspiration, and transcendence. It represents the human's yearning to connect with the infinite. However, when this cross is inverted, its meaning is fundamentally altered. The upward-reaching line is now pointing downwards, pulling the divine essence towards the earth, towards materiality, towards limitation. The spiritual aspiration is reversed, becoming a descent rather than an ascent. This inversion is not a mere aesthetic choice. It is a potent geometric statement about the architect's goal, to anchor divine energy into the material plane, thereby trapping it and preventing it from fulfilling its true, liberating purpose. This inversion is a powerful metaphor for how the architects have corrupted sacred symbols and principles, turning them into tools of spiritual subjugation. What was meant to elevate the spirit now serves to bind it to the lower vibrations. The sacred geometry of ascent has been perverted into the geometry of descent, a constant reminder of the downward pull that keeps us tethered to this plane. But this perversion is not arbitrary, it's part of a larger codified system. In the next section, we will explore a diagram that geometrically maps this very system of spiritual binding. We've witnessed how the inverted cross illustrates the perversion of sacred meaning, a geometric echo of downward pull. This deliberate corruption is part of a larger, intricate map of spiritual limitation. Now we turn our attention to a diagram that geometrically codifies this entire system of binding, the Kabbalistic tree of life. While revered as a path to understanding the divine, its geometric structure reveals it as a sophisticated diagram for soul confinement. The tree of life, with its 10 spheres, sephirot, and intricate pathways, is often presented as a map of creation and spiritual ascent. It purports to show the emanations of the divine and the journey of the soul's return to its source. Visually, it appears as an ordered system, a logical progression, a ladder to the heavens. But when we analyze its geometric layout, a different narrative emerges, one of controlled descent and cyclical entrapment. Each sphere and path on the tree corresponds to a specific vibrational frequency or mode of consciousness. The diagram's structure, however, doesn't lead us out of the lower realms, but rather orchestrates our journey through them in a controlled manner. The seemingly divine emanations are, in fact, stages of engineered descent, guiding the soul through a preordained sequence of experiences, ensuring it remains within the architect's framework. It's a soul's itinerary, designed for a specific, limited journey. The geometric relationships between the sephirot, the interconnections between the paths, all serve to create a self-contained system, a loop of experience from which escape is not encouraged, but rather repetition is implicitly programmed. The tree of life, therefore, is not a map to freedom, but a sophisticated geometric blueprint for managing and retaining souls within the confines of this reality. But this complex diagram is merely one facet of a greater architectural principle. In the next section, we will confront the overarching strategy of this cosmic design, the very essence of its limiting nature. We've seen how the Kabbalistic tree of life geometrically maps out a system of spiritual binding, guiding souls through a controlled descent. This meticulous design points to a singular, overarching purpose behind all these geometric manifestations: the architecture of limitation. This is the grand strategy of the architects, the fundamental principle that underpins every symbol, every structure, and every seemingly divine pattern we encounter in this reality. The entire universe, as presented to us, is a meticulously crafted edifice of limitation. From the smallest fractal patterns to the largest cosmic structures, geometry is employed not to grant freedom, but to define boundaries. Every sacred shape, every proportion, every harmonic vibration is tuned to a specific frequency of restriction, designed to keep consciousness confined within a predictable, manageable spectrum. It's a cosmic bureaucracy built of pure geometry. This architecture ensures that our experiences are contained, our spiritual development is channeled, and our potential is never fully realized. We are given the illusion of infinite choice within a system where all choices ultimately lead back to the same predetermined boundaries. The divine beauty we perceive is the aesthetic scaffolding of our prison, the elegance of our cage. It's a masterpiece of control, so sophisticated that it has convinced us it is natural, even benevolent. The architect's work is a testament to the power of geometric design, a flawless execution of a plan to constrain the boundless. But just as they have erected this architecture, there is a way to dismantle it, to reclaim the cosmic code. In the next section, we will explore the possibility of breaking free, of learning to wield this sacred geometry not as a tool of confinement, but as a key to liberation. We've confronted the overwhelming reality of the architecture of limitation, the vast, geometric prison constructed by the architects. But understanding this immense system is not an end, it is a beginning. We can be discouraged by the sheer scale of this confinement, or we can choose to see this knowledge as a weapon. The very geometry that binds us is also the key to our liberation. In this section, we will explore how to reclaim the geometric code. The patterns that have been used to contain us can, when understood and consciously manipulated, become instruments of freedom. Just as a locksmith uses the unique contours of a key to open a lock, we can use our understanding of sacred geometry to unlock ourselves from the architect's grid. This involves a shift in perception, a conscious reinterpretation of the shapes and frequencies that surround us. Instead of passively receiving their influence, we can begin to actively engage with them. This reclamation involves a process of internal mastery. By understanding the energetic principles behind each geometric form, we can begin to resonate with higher frequencies, effectively disrupting the lower, binding frequencies imposed upon us. It's about shifting our internal geometry, aligning our own energetic patterns with those of liberation rather than limitation. This might involve specific meditations, visualizations, or the conscious application of geometric principles in our daily lives. The architects have designed a system of control, but consciousness itself is the ultimate creative force. By reclaiming the geometric code, we are essentially reclaiming our divine right to create our own reality, free from imposed restrictions. We learn to see the underlying blueprint, and rather than becoming trapped within it, we begin to rewrite it. But understanding how to rewrite the code is only the first step. The ultimate act is to move beyond the architect's influence altogether. In the next section, we will discuss transcending the grid and stepping into true freedom. We've taken the crucial step of reclaiming the geometric code, understanding how to use the very tools of our confinement for our own liberation. But this process of internal mastery, while powerful, is just the beginning. The ultimate goal is to transcend the entire system, to move beyond the architect's grid entirely. This is the final frontier of our geometric awakening, the moment we step beyond the confines of their design. Transcendence means recognizing that the entire construct of limitation, no matter how elaborate, is an illusion constructed from geometric principles. It is a reality built with rules, and rules can be broken or rewritten. It means understanding that our true nature is not confined by the shapes and frequencies we have been shown. We are not meant to be mere inhabitants of their geometric prison. We are meant to be creators, unbound by their laws. This is not about rebellion in the conventional sense, but about a conscious disengagement. It's about realizing that the architect's grid is powered by our belief in it, by our resonance with its frequencies. By shifting our own energetic signature, by aligning with the true geometry of our infinite origin, we can effectively uncouple ourselves from their system. It requires a profound inner knowing, a deep trust in our own divine essence that predates any imposed architecture. The architect's grid is a sophisticated illusion. By understanding its geometric foundations, reclaiming its principles, and ultimately choosing to recognize our inherent boundlessness, we can step out of the cage. This is the promise of true spiritual awakening. The journey has been long and revealing, but now, the ultimate truth about transcending any imposed design awaits. Make sure to subscribe for more videos and hit that notification bell so you never miss a new video. We'll see you in the next one.